President Muhammadu Buhari signs 2020 Finance Bill. ERGP, federal government tells state governments to place more emphasis on planning. Insurance industry strategizes for 2020. Plus, Nigeria's stock market outperforms peers globally in 2020. Equities in solid rally. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Amina Nujaim. Welcome to the program. President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday signed the 2020 Finance Bill into law. This is sequel to its passage by the National Assembly and subsequent forwarding by the legislature to the President for assent. A statement by Femi Adesina, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, indicates that the bill is anchored on 5 strategic objectives in terms of achieving incremental but necessary changes to the nation's fiscal laws. They include promoting fiscal equities by mitigating instances of regressive taxation, reforming domestic tax laws to align with global best practices, introducing tax incentives for investment in infrastructure and capital market, supporting micro, small and medium enterprises in line with the ease of doing business reforms, and raising revenue for government. And the Minister of State Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, has urged state governments to place more emphasis on planning rather than just budgeting, as is currently the practice in most states, saying that the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan ERGP, designed to steer the country's economy from the woods, had guaranteed a 10-quarter consecutive growth to the economy. Agba made this call in Abuja when he played host to a delegation of Katsina State Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Council, led by the Deputy Governor of the state, Manir Yakubu, who doubles as the chairman of the council. Agba urged the state government to take advantage of the 500 million euros approved by the Federal Executive Council for the Bank of Industry to support MSMEs development in the country by working with the Bank to Access Fund. Earlier, the Deputy Governor informed the Minister that the state was desirous of creating an enabling environment that would facilitate economic growth in the state, as such take a number of steps as setting up the State SMEs Council. Available statistics reveal that MSMEs employs between 60 to 70% of the working population. We will take a short break and be right back. Meanwhile, the National Insurance Commission says it is preparing underwriting firms for the enforcement of the International Financial Reporting Standard 17, which will commence in the sector in January 2022. IFRS 17 insurance contracts, which was issued by the International Accounting Standards Board in May 2017, is designed to achieve the goal of a consistent principle-based accounting for insurance contracts. This forms part of Nigeria's insurance activities for 2020 financial period. The Commission stated that it plans to enhance financial reporting with respect to insurance contracts and provide guidance to be issued to the industry and subsequent constitution of Nigeria's Insurance Industry Financial Reporting Group. Acting Commissioner for Insurance Sunday Thomas says the Commission would, in the course of the year, continue to introduce new reforms and incentives in line with international best practices for attaining the level of growth and development desired for the sector. And to look into the issues around the insurance sector in Nigeria, I have Ikerete Olagam Ikon. He is a business thinker and consultant on insurance. I hope I got your name right.
Of course, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank goodness for that. Now, let us start this way. Insurance.
Okay. Yes.
From accidents, stolen cars, and recently, fire incidences. Are Nigerians not aware of insurance?
I think Nigerians are aware of insurance, but insurance is not just part of their financial plans. So Nigerians are aware of insurance. However, there are some Nigerians, and a lot of them, who are aware of insurance negative stories. And so what we're trying to do today is to bring a lot of Nigerians to be aware of the place of insurance in their entire financial planning.
Now, you're talking about the Nigerians are aware, but there doesn't seem to be a huge number of Nigerians who are interested in purchasing this policy. Could it be that the finger is pointing back at the sector?
Okay, so let me tell you what it is. Nigerians are aware of insurance. I repeat, they're just aware of the sad stories of insurance. If Nigerians are not aware of insurance, would Nigerians deny the fact that the insurance industry built Marina in Lagos, Marina that is known as the business capital of Nigeria at the time? Would Nigerians deny that insurance built the Federal Capital Territory? Why am I saying that? Insurance used to manage pension funds. And so the pension funds were used to build the Federal Capital Territory. Don't forget, what is known as Transcorp Hotel today used to be Nikon Noga Hilton. So it was built with money from the insurance sector. So anybody who is doing business successfully today has benefited in one way or the other from insurance. So Nigerians are aware of insurance. Now, the challenge, like I said earlier, is that stories have been moved from generation to generation about the bad side of insurance. And that's what we're all dealing with today, because we've got to correct that story. And let the people...
How can the story change? How can that be corrected?
Let the people who are enjoying insurance come out and say so. That's the problem. There are businesses that have been saved from going bankrupt and going under by insurance.
Let me come in here. What exactly are those who are enjoying insurance? What should they say to those who don't know what it means to enjoy insurance?
So they should say that insurance companies have paid their claims. Yes, we know that there are people who are being owed claims, and I'm one of those who is campaigning seriously for those who are being owed claims to be paid claims, because it's not right. However, can I tell you that in 2018, the insurance industry paid as much as 207 billion naira as claims, in a year that the insurance industry made only 413 billion. In 2017, the Nigerian insurance sector also paid 142 billion as claims. Where do you think that money is going to? It's going back to businesses to keep businesses going. So Nigerians cannot say they are not aware of insurance. Insurance is good, and we all need to just change the story. And that's why those guys have to come out and say, oh, insurance has paid my claim. And the story will begin to change. And I know that the challenge we have currently is that the evidence is not well in the face of people.
I'm still going to go back and ask you, is there a strategy the insurance industry is not doing to further penetrate the Nigerian population?
Of course, yes. Like in every other business, you know, there is a strategy that is not happening. And for me, that strategy is that we are not going to the source of insurance, where insurance happens, to get people to take the right insurance. Let me explain. People take insurance for their vehicles by default. When they go to the vehicle licensing offices to register their cars, you know, they take insurance. Now, this insurance they take, they believe it's for us to just get past the law enforcement guys on the road. But this insurance has value, which Nigerians must know. A third-party insurance, you know, for example, has got a 1 million third-party property damage limit for you to fix the car of the other guy. So what insurance needs to do is to go to that source and make sure that the right insurance is what is given. The genuine insurance is what is given. Because a lot of problems comes when people are handling those fake documents. When you have an accident, you present it, and the answer is sorry.
I was about to say that, because I'm sure right now if you go to places where cars are being registered or, you know, details are renewed, yes, there are people who are paying insurance who have in the back of their mind, this is just a formality.
Yep. But it's not a formality. I'm here to tell Nigerians that it's not a formality. And that's why people need to hear the right story, you know, so that they can know. And when you have a third party, if you have a third party, I have a third party, and my car hits your car by accident, you can claim from that my third party. And by the way, a number of Nigerians have also become aware of the process of getting their claims paid on third party. So insurance industry in the last 2 years has paid a lot of third party claims, which has made the payment of claims in these last 2 years become even higher than the rate at which insurance companies are making money, making premium.
Okay, for people to transfer,
yes,
their risks to the insurance industry, do you see the need for legislation, sort of like an enforcement, a rule that says you must do this?
Let me tell you the truth. The law is there. So we don't need to we don't need to talk about putting a law in place anymore. The law is there because the law resides with the National Insurance Commission. And it's clear. If you don't have insurance cover for your car, insurance certificate for your car, they say fine or imprisonment term. It's in that law. If you don't have insurance for your public building, they say fine. An imprisonment term is in the law. So the law has made it clear that there are 6 insurance policies that businesses and individuals must take. You know, the motor insurance, the group life insurance, the employee's liability, the insurance for public buildings, insurance for buildings under construction, and insurance for health professionals. And of course, you have other insurances. You can't import things without marine insurance.
Okay.
You know, now the law is there. The issue of enforcement is also that we are not, in my view, going about it the right way. Remember, in this country, we used to laugh at tax letters when they come to our offices. But can we now do that? The answer is no. So there's got to be some, process that we follow. If you get a letter that says to you, provide us with your insurance information in line with the law, and you don't provide that, or you provide it and it's not sufficient, then we move on to the next stage of ensuring that you have it. If you don't have it, then we can go ahead to prosecute by just informing the law enforcement officers that, hey, these guys don't have insurance. So tell me, is the process not on then?
Well,
but that's not to say that we don't need to do some adjustments to the Insurance Act, which has been there since 2003.
No, to check infractions, what
Yes.
reforms do you call for?
To check infractions, you mean in terms of the insurance?
Either the insurance companies, defaulters, illegal activities.
Let me give you an example. Now, we have people who are also fraudulent, when it comes to making claims from insurance companies.
Okay.
All right. So there's a way to deal with that. And I'm saying that the way to deal with that is always to make a report to the right law enforcement, organization. Now, on the part of the insurance companies, what I will call an infraction is where someone has put, his insurance with you, and for 13, 14 years, he's paying you premium every year. At the end of the period, he now wants to get value for the insurance. And hey, we have a number of insurance companies that are not able to pay.
Okay.
There's no reason why such companies should be involved in the recapitalization process that is going on.
Perfect. I have to ask.
Yeah.
The capitalization deadline changed from June to December 2020. So,
to make life easy for the insurance companies.
why?
That's how I look at it.
Why? How?
Now, this is what I have said. NICOM has done a fantastic thing of, shifting the dates, because some of us had said from the beginning that the date was not reasonable. All right? So they shifted the dates. But the reason for shifting the date is to give insurance companies more time. Those that cannot come up with the funds required, more time. But can I tell you something? Some of these companies, if you give them 2 years, they won't come up with it. So the issue for me is looking at it from the point of the policyholders. For the policyholders, some of them were looking forward to this capitalization ending in June so that we can get to know the right companies to do business with.
Something comes to mind here. For instance, if you check the activities of the insurance sector in the equities market, it's been one of the worst performing sectors. Some are saying that there's kind of like two sides to the story. Some are saying that the recapitalization will bring in close to 200 billion worth of cash into. Some are saying no, it's performing badly, and so not much should be expected. So with this, your talk about, some say June should have been the date so that you know who is actually standing, does it really
let me tell you what I think is going to happen. Shifting the date has affected the thinking of a lot of investors.
Okay.
Investors don't behave that way. They may have been working towards, let's say, January, taking a decision and then providing funds for that. Now, shifting the date has made them to look at the funds that they were planning to shift to insurance, to now say, hey, let's wait and see what happens.
Okay.
Let's wait is not a good position, because that money cannot wait. Don't forget, other sectors are also undergoing recapitalization.
But they are performing slightly better than the insurance sector.
Now, coming
the banking sector has been having a field day, by the way, in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, thanks to positive financial reports.
Yes, I do agree that the insurance sector has had challenges in the capital market.
Yeah.
But that, for me, is a function of, the lack of openness on the part of insurance on how this business is done. I cannot, as an investor, put money in the business, and hear that you are paying claims, you are doing the things that you should do, spending money on management expenses, and then at the end of the year, there's no dividend. Hey, come on. It's a business. It shouldn't be run as a profession, forgive me. Some people run it as a profession, whereas it should be run as a business, because money comes from outside to achieve that.
Okay. I'm going to have to ask you this in closing.
Yeah.
With a lot of reforms taking place within the sector, where do you see the place of technology?
Oh, beautiful. Oh.
And digitization.
Technology, digitization, forgive me, it's same language. Okay. Now, the thing for me is that is the most exciting part for me.
Okay.
It is what I consider will save the insurance industry. The traditional insurance industry, as we have it up till now, has ended. If we don't have a digital agenda from the regulatory point and the industry-wide position, that will be, like missing an opportunity to redeem the industry. But the good thing is that the African Insurance Organization is holding its conference in Nigeria this year, and the theme is on digitalization of the insurance industry. And I do believe that it will be an opportunity, preparing towards that conference, to be able to discuss and have an agenda. Because if we don't have an agenda and we just think we'll go into it, we may miss it again. Okay. So I see it as the savior of the insurance business, and we have to approach it deliberately.
Well, we'll keep a close eye on developments within the sector.
Please. We're doing a lot to see that changes happen, and people like you will come over to have insurance and enjoy it. You
never know.
I'm not sure you have an insurance policy.
Well, we've been talking to Ikerete Olagam Ikon. He is a business thinker and a consultant on insurance.
Thank you
I
very
will
much.
see you after the program.
Thank you very much.
Prices of oil and precious metals beat a retreat in early trade Monday following signs of a peace deal between U.S. and China amid internal tensions in Iran. Next is a graphic representation. Between January and November 2019, the federal government made about 5.04 trillion naira from the sale of oil. Figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria reveal that oil revenue at November was lower than the 8.77 trillion naira revenue targeted provided for in the 2019 budget for the 11-month period. A breakdown of the 5.04 trillion naira oil revenue showed that the sum of 363.9 billion naira was generated from crude oil and gas exports, while the sum of 2.94 trillion naira was generated from the petroleum profit tax and royalties. The decrease in oil revenue relative to the monthly budget estimated was attributed to shut-ins and shutdowns at some NNPC terminals. And the market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange rose 2.22 trillion naira or 17.10% in 7 trading sessions, with market maintaining an upward trend since the beginning of 2020. Let's join Bosede Abel for that.
The NSE All-Share Index for week ended 10th January closed on a bullish territory. It appreciated by 9.07% to close the week at 29,415.39 basis points, while market capitalization advanced significantly by 16.55% and closed 15.1 trillion naira. All other indices finished higher, with the exception of NSE Oil and Gas Index, which depreciated by 0.04%, and the NSE ASEP Index, which closed flat. At a turnover of 2.6 billion shares worth 32.6 billion naira in 30,956 deals were traded in the week by investors. The financial services industry led the activity chart with 2 billion shares. It was followed with the conglomerate industry with 225.7 million shares worth 504.1 million naira in 1,217 deals. The third place was the consumer goods industry with a turnover of 123.3 million shares worth 3.1 billion naira in 3,403 deals. The top three equities were United Bank for Africa PLC, Zenith Bank PLC, and Wapik Insurance PLC. They jointly accounted for 934.6 million shares worth 10.9 billion naira. A total of 15,390 units of exchange-traded products valued at 13 million naira were traded, as well as 64,840 units of federal government bonds valued at 71.3 million naira were also traded in 30 deals. 51 equities appreciated in price during the week, 20 equities depreciated in price, while 92 equities remained unchanged.
And at the end of trade this Monday, the All-Share Index nudged up by 0.74% to close at 29,633.58 basis points. Market capitalization rose to 15.287 trillion naira. Now, 348 million equities traded in 5,377 deals, valued at 8.547 billion naira. The banking sector dominated activities led by Access Bank, UBA, and Zenith Bank. Asian markets subdued ahead of signing of a U.S.-China Phase 1 trade deal. Let's join Bosede Abel again for global market reports.
Today, U.S. equities reversed from all-time highs on the back of disappointing employment data. The U.S. economy added 145,000 jobs in December, lower than what economists polled by Dow Jones had estimated at 160,000 jobs. In early trading of 13th January, investors monitored U.S.-China trade as a Chinese delegation is due to travel to Washington, D.C. for the signing of the Phase 1 trade deal on Wednesday. The deal is expected to lower some of the tariffs as well as increasing Chinese purchases of U.S. agricultural products. According to reports, the U.S. and China have agreed to hold semi-annual talks to resolve disputes and push for reforms. In early trading, Asia stocks rose. Nikkei topped 0.47%, Shanghai Composite 0.75%, and the Hang Seng Index also rose by 1.11%. U.S. stocks were lower. Dow Jones Industrial Average was down by 0.46%, S&P 500 0.29%, and Nasdaq Composite also dropped 0.27%. Although as the day progresses, most stocks indicated positive signs. European stocks opened mixed as the US and China prepare to sign a Phase 1 trade deal on Wednesday. In Africa, most stocks were positive. South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40, Nairobi's All Share, Ghana's GSE Composite, and Namibia's overall index posted gains, while Tunisia's Tunidex depreciated by 0.12%.
Thank you, Abosede. And that's a wrap on this edition of Business Express. Be informed, all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us on Twitter, and the handle is @NTA News Now. #BizX. Business Express returns on Wednesday. I am Amina Nujaim. Thank you for watching.